year was 1476. The kingdom of Wallachia lay under a bleak shadow, oppressed by the tales of its own ruler, Vlad III. Known by many names, Vlad Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, son of the dragon, his deeds had spread far and wide, ensuring that his name would never be forgotten. Deep within the winding roads of Transylvania, two traveling bards, Silvius and Cassian, sought refuge in a rustic tavern. As they warmed themselves by the hearth, they were met with curious stares and hushed whispers from the villagers. A song, perhaps? Silvius offered, hoping to lighten the tense atmosphere. The innkeeper, an old woman with sharp, penetrating eyes, replied, "You are not from around here. Do you know the stories of our prince, Vlad Dracula?" "We have heard tales," Cassian said cautiously. "But every town adds its own color. We'd love to hear yours." The innkeeper hesitated, glancing around at the gathered crowd, who seemed eager to hear. Taking a deep breath, she began. "Long ago, Wallachia was under the threat of the Ottoman Empire. Vlad, having been imprisoned by them in his youth, held a deep-rooted grudge. He sought to protect his land at any cost. His strategies in battle were unparalleled, but it was his method of punishment that made him infamous. He'd impale his enemies, leaving them to suffer and perish slowly. It is said he once dined amidst a forest of the impaled, savoring his meal while the moans of the dying filled the air." Silvius and Cassian exchanged uneasy glances, but the innkeeper continued. "But there are darker tales, ones that are whispered even more softly. It is said that Vlad feared death and sought immortality. In his quest, he met a dark sorceress who told him of a ritual, an exchange of the very essence of life, blood." She leaned in closer, her voice dropping to a murmur. "They say he became a strigoi, a creature of the night, feasting on the blood of the living to maintain his eternal youth." The room was silent. Cassian, ever the skeptic, scoffed. "Such tales are common throughout Europe, legends to keep children in line." But Silvius, the dreamer, saw an opportunity. "What a tale for our next destination," he whispered to Cassian. "Imagine the ballads, the tales we could spin from this." Years passed. The story of Vlad, as told through the eyes of Silvius and Cassian, traveled across Europe, evolving with each telling. It blended with other legends of blood-sucking creatures and dark romances. Romances until, centuries later, it landed on the desk of an Irishman named Bram Stoker. Inspired by the tales, Stoker crafted a novel about a Transylvanian count with a thirst for blood, merging history and myth, combining reality and fantasy into the famous Dracula.